You guys, it has been a week and I am tired. I am very tired. I was honestly not sure you were even going to get any videos at all this week, but I need a distraction today. I need to do something, so I am going to try to film a vlog, and I'm going to apologize up front if it's a little all over the place, but yeah, I mean, it's been a lot this week, and I'll get into everything kind of as we go along today, but the biggest thing that happened was that Toby had to go back into the hospital. He got pancreatitis again. His diabetes is still in remission, so we're not sure what caused the pancreatitis this time, but he had gotten really sick, throwing up a lot, having diarrhea, wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, and so we put him in the hospital so that we could get some IV fluids in him and get him kind of back to eating and drinking normally, and I was able to bring him home last night, but I got the phone call at 7 that I could go pick him up and bring him home, and I went to leave and my garage door wouldn't open. And that's when I realized that the odd sound I had heard earlier in the day was the spring on the garage door breaking. So my car is currently trapped inside of my garage until afternoon tomorrow because that's the earliest I could get somebody out here to come fix it. So I ended up having to call a friend of mine to come get me, to take me, to pick up Toby and bring Toby back home. And oh man, it was like the last thing I needed. I was so happy to hear that I could bring him home, and then I go to open that garage door and figure out what had happened, and I went straight from like elated happy to angry pissed off to upset sad. It was like the whole whirlwind of emotions within like a 10-minute time period. But Toby is back home right now. He's still kind of obviously a little bit out of it, a little bit recovering from the whole stay at the hospital, and we'll visit him here in a little bit as well. But yeah, like I said, I needed kind of a distraction. I didn't need to just be sitting here worrying all day about everything. So we're gonna try and vlog, and we're gonna try and definitely water some plants today since we didn't get to in the last vlog video, assuming we have no more unwelcome insect guests. And I will also let you know later what happened after I ended that video regarding the whole cockroach situation. So we are just gonna get into things around here first, and my house is a complete and total mess, at least in my opinion. So don't judge if you see kind of the messiness in the background in anything that we're doing today. But why don't we go check on Toby real quick and say hi, and then we'll talk about plant watering.
Hey buddy, how you feeling? You all right this morning? You still sleepy? You hanging out with your favorite plant in here, the begonia? Oh, little man. Well, we're gonna let you rest. We're gonna do some planty things since mommy hasn't been staying on top of that lately, but we're glad you're back home, okay? You get some rest. Hopefully we'll be feeling a little bit better every single day here moving forward.
Okay guys, so obviously with everything that's been going on this week, I have not exactly been staying on top of plant care, and first victim, the Selaginella. Yep, not looking its best anymore. This side's right here is not too bad, but you can see we've gotten very bald back here. This plant behaves very much like a fern if you do not water it practically. Like I think I can go maybe 3 days if I'm lucky between watering this, and it'll still feel pretty wet, but it just likes to have all the water in the world. And just like ferns, if you don't get it right or you go too long once, it crisps up a lot of its little branches and then they die and fall off, and that is what happened to the poor Selaginella. And also, like ferns, it seems to take quite a while for them to grow back in. So we're going to be looking like this for a while, but hopefully I can get back on top of my plant care routine now that Toby's back home. And like I said, hopefully he continues to improve. And so like I was telling you guys in the last vlog before we got interrupted, I pretty much just go room by room each day and kind of check on my plants and see who needs to be watered. Obviously when I walk into a room, if there's a plant I know I just watered yesterday, I'm not going to worry about it, but I just kind of check on the ones where I'm like, I feel like it's been a little while since I've watered that one. And I just kind of get used to who kind of might need to be watered or not, and I check on those plants first. And you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy when I tell you what I'm about to tell you next, but I take all of my plants into the kitchen and I water them at the kitchen sink. And yes, that's a lot of walking back and forth to and from places, but I am a very active person, so I kind of like being able to get up and move around while I'm doing all of my plant chores, so it really doesn't bother me. The other thing I like is that it's much easier to check for pests in front of that window in my kitchen because I can hold the plants up to the light and get a much better, closer up look than I can in a lot of the places where they're just living normally. So I'm going to go ahead and start going around the house and kind of checking on the plants, and I'll probably stop periodically along the way and give you a little bit more insight into some of the things I do when I'm checking to see if plants need to be watered. Okay, so you guys might notice I'm picking up a lot of pots and kind of doing this with them, and that's because I can usually tell by the weight of the pot if it needs to be watered. And some of them are also in clear pots, so I can actually look at the soil and tell if it looks like it's dry enough to need to be watered. And you'll get used to your plant's weight over time. And I will tell you, it kind of sucks after you repot all of your plants, typically in the springtime, and then you have to get used to what the weight of the pot is now that it's in a bigger pot with more soil, but eventually you get used to it again. But that is kind of like my least favorite time of year for watering, is after I've repotted a bunch of plants, because now I can't just tell really quickly by weight if they need to be watered. But that's why you see me picking up all these plants and kind of doing this with them. Okay, so we've got a pretty good assortment of plants here, and I did go around last night after I brought Toby home and kind of hit up some of the plants that I felt like have been the most neglected this week and watered them, and apparently I hit up more than I thought I did, so we don't have like too much to water today. I still haven't checked the IKEA cabinet yet, but when I looked at it last night, nobody looked really dry in there, but we'll probably check that one here in a bit too. But I do try to keep the plants like separate from the areas they were in. So this is all the bedroom plants that were together. I'm keeping them separate from the other ones to water them first, just in case there is like a pest issue I don't know about on any of the plants. I don't want it getting onto the other plants. Now, once again, I do also, before I water each of these plants, I go and I hold them up in front of the window over the sink, and I take a close look in that light to make sure that there are no pests on any of the plants. And of course, if I do find pests, I will immediately go spray the plant down, clean the plant down, and separate it from all the other plants. But we're gonna go ahead and start with this rattlesnake calathea here and get this guy watered, because he definitely has some crispy leaves. Obviously, he did get a little bit more neglected than I thought, and I'll probably grab my snips and remove some of those crispy leaves here in a second. But I do have just some plastic drip trays that I use when I water, and then I also have these little glass Pyrex dish things that I used for some of my plants that the water like runs too quickly through. So for example, this Hawaiian snowbush is a little bit separated from the pot. There's a little gap between it and the soil, and so the water typically runs straight through. So by putting it in here, when the water pools in the bottom, it can just reabsorb what it needs from the bottom up. But typically I don't bottom water like that. I just water top down, and if it is a situation like that, I just let it reabsorb whatever it needs to reabsorb. So we're just gonna start over here. This is just filtered water, once again, from my fridge. This has been sitting out overnight so that it's room temperature, and I do have my mosquito dunk in here, so that helps take care of the fungus gnats while I'm watering. And so I'm just gonna get in here and start watering all these plants. Okay guys, one thing I want to mention real quick that I don't know if a lot of people know is that in any kind of plant pot, you're going to have what's known as a water table. And this is basically a lower section of the potting medium that the water won't properly drain from without a little bit of assistance from you. And that's just due to the effects of gravity. So whenever I'm done watering my plants and I pick them up and I'm letting them kind of drip dry, what I do is I tilt them on an angle and I just give them a little lift up and down to get that excess water from that water table out. And you will see on some plants a lot of water come pouring out. But you want to make sure you get all of that out of there so it's not just sitting in there soaking those roots, because that can cause root rot. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting all of these guys dripped dry, and then we're going to put them back in their home. Okay guys, so like I've been telling you lately, the propagations are what take up most of my time watering. As you can see here, this is just off of the propagation carts, not even the IKEA cabinet, but I did just go take a peek at the IKEA cabinet and everybody looks pretty good in there. There's one plant I might water a little bit later today, but we'll see. We're gonna take care of these ones first, and I will let you know that lots of times, especially with these like little 2-inch pots, I just water them over the sink and like drip them dry like this real quick over the sink and then set them right back on the propagation cart, as opposed to using a tray or anything like that, because the water just soaks through these so quickly and they're fine. They're good to go after that. Now, some of these do have that same problem I was talking about with the Hawaiian snow bush, where I will take them and I will put them into the glass containers so they can reabsorb some of the water, just because it comes through too quickly and it doesn't actually moisten all of the soil. But I'm gonna go ahead and start watering these, but I think while I'm watering these ones, I'm gonna fill you in on what happened after the end of the last vlog video, since I know a lot of you have been wondering and some of you have actually asked in the comments on that video. So for those of you who have not seen my previous vlog video, I will link it down below for you and also at the end of this video. But it got rudely interrupted by a cockroach. And if there's one thing I don't do, it's cockroaches. So everybody got to watch me attempt to kill, aka vacuum up, said cockroach. I did end up finally hitting it with a little bit of wasp spray, and it then freaked out and scurried off to somewhere that I don't know where. I don't know where, and I still don't know where. I don't know where it went. I think it is probably dead underneath my bed. That is my hope. My box spring and my mattress are too heavy to lift by myself to find out for sure. And I kid you not when I say that I slept upstairs in one of the guest bedrooms for 2 weeks straight. You guys, we're gonna pause for a second because Toby, I think, is coming to eat. And because of the hospital stay and stuff, I want to make sure that he's actually eating. So, you eat, buddy? Okay, you guys, he keeps going to the food bowl, but he's not eating it. So I'm gonna try putting some fresh food straight out of the bag in here, sprinkle some of this probiotic stuff that the vet gave me on it that's supposed to taste great to them, and see if I can't get him to eat real quick, because I'm kind of concerned that he hasn't eaten anything yet since he got up this morning. Well, I got all excited because he sounded like he was eating, but he only took like one bite and then he is now left. So hopefully he will eat some more here in a bit. I did give him an appetite stimulant that they had given me to give him to try to help get him to be eating more again. But he pigged out like nobody's business when he got home last night. So I'm not sure what the deal is this morning. So maybe he's just still kind of recovering from his ordeal, and hopefully over the course of the day, he'll start to be acting a little bit more normal. But where was I? Oh yes, the roach thing. So yes, I did sleep upstairs for 2 weeks. I have since moved back downstairs. And I did call my pest control people, who just 2 days before I filmed that vlog, they had been out here and done my outside pest control. And that's why I was kind of like, I just had pest control done. But I called them and was like, you need to come and do the inside too, because there were just like a bunch of crickets getting in here and other things. And I was like, no, thank you. And so they came out and they did that. And it was kind of funny too, because the guy that came out to do it, like, got done spraying the whole household. And I honestly was mildly concerned that he was gonna be like, if you didn't have all these plants, you wouldn't be attracting all these bugs. But he didn't say anything along those lines. As a matter of fact, when he got done treating the inside, he walked up to me and said, "Are you one of those plant people that's on YouTube?" That's right, that's totally what he said, you guys. I was like totally shocked. I was like, how did you know? And I mean, I did actually have my filming equipment out in my living room because I was getting ready to film a video for you guys. But I didn't even have like my camera on the tripod or anything. I just had the lights there and the tripod was just there with no camera on it. But I mean, that's a pretty big, leap to just be treating my house for pests, see all my plants, and then just be like, you have a YouTube channel? Like, so I was kind of like, oh, why, yes, I do. How interesting that you went there. And he was like, yeah, your plants look really, really good. Like, it looks awesome in here. And so like, I was like relieved because like I said, I was just worried that he was going to be like, well, if you didn't have all these plants, you wouldn't be attracting this many bugs. So good news there. And he was a very nice guy. And I had started to find ants in my kitchen and my master bathroom that week, which was weird because they're on opposite sides of the house. And so he treated for those, and I haven't seen any pests of any kind, ants or otherwise, since he did that. So of course, I feel okay sleeping downstairs again. But yeah, that is what happened after that vlog video. And yeah, that was an interesting day to say the least. I mean, you guys saw. So anyways, in other news, things that have been going on this week as well, and other stressors in my life, I have a tendency to take on too much stuff. And I somehow let one of my grad school professors, who to this day insists that I'm his best student of all time. I mean, yeah, I did good in his class, but I find that hard to believe, but he just swears up and down that that's the case. And so I'm like very appreciative of that, obviously. But he also hits me up for things a lot. He always asks me to write recommendations for him when he's up for awards, which I do. He actually asked me to help him kind of develop a class that they wanted him to start teaching that he thought was kind of not possible in the time frame that they wanted it done in. And so I helped him develop that course, and it is now taken off. It's one of the most popular courses that he teaches. And I'll let you guys know, before like I took his class, he had a reputation of like everybody hated his classes. They hated him. They thought they were so hard. And you know, when it came at the end of the semester and they do that, like you can review your professor and whatnot, I like took a lot of time on his when I got to the extra comments section, and I basically told him exactly why I thought people didn't like his class, why they felt it was hard, why they didn't feel like it was necessarily totally beneficial, and what I thought he could do to make it like more interesting and less difficult and more like feel more relevant to people for when they actually graduate and are using these skills on their actual job. And so he actually took a lot of my recommendations and implemented them, and he has some very popular classes now. And so I'm really happy that that worked out for him. But he just started another new class in October of last year, so October 2021. He reached out to me at that time and he asked me if I would take the class, or if I wanted to take the class, I guess. And the thing is with this class, not only are you counting it as a college course for his grad students, but it also has these certification exams you can take to earn professional certifications. So obviously that kind of thing looks good on a resume, because that looks like, you know, it doesn't look like, it does look like, what I'm trying to say is it is continuing education. And so that always looks good on a resume if you can improve your skills, get new skills, new certifications. And so I said, you know what, why not? You know, and he kind of wanted to know what I thought about the course as well. And so I signed up for it. And part of the reason I signed up for it too is because he told me for his past students like myself, he was going to give them a full year to complete the course. So it's September 11th. I have to complete it by October. I started it 4 weeks ago. Yeah, well, things came up, you guys. I hadn't started a YouTube channel at the time that I told him I would do this, right? And so I was like, okay, so a little while ago, I was like, you know what, I've really got to get started on this. And so that's been taking up a lot of my time. And his course in particular is a lot of math. So statistics, regression analysis, you know, calculating ROI on things. Like it's a lot of math, and a lot of math that I have not done in decades. So it's been interesting. I have passed now 4 of the 5 certification tests, and there's like a total of like 29 modules that you have to go through, 4 practice sets in each module that you have to pass before it will open up a specific test for you. I still have 9 modules left to go, but I've completed all of the modules that were related to the actual certification exams. So like I said, I passed 4 of them, and I have 1 more I've got to do. And this one is it's a weird one. It's something I've never done in my professional career before, even though it's related to like, you know, somewhat to marketing. Well, definitely to marketing, but it's just not something I've done before. So the concepts, it's taken me a little bit longer to wrap my head around it, especially when I'm given like a real world conceptual case where there's like missing components and you've got to figure it out. And the tests are timed. They are only 40 minutes long. They're 10 questions each, and you can only miss 2 questions. So it's a lot of pressure. So I've been dealing with that on top of everything else with Toby. And then my personal training certification came up for renewal. You have to renew it every 2 years, and you have to do continuing education credits for that as well. So shortly before starting this thing for my professor, I was doing classes and finishing up classes to recertify my personal trainer certification. And then along with that, I also had to renew my first aid CPR AED certification. And then I realized right after I finished that my WSI certification was up for renewal. It's once every 2 years as well. And I had to renew that by September 4th. And that also required the CPR bit as well. So at least that, you know, took care of 2 things at once. But so I did that. Then I started in on all of this. I mean, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot going on, and then trying to plan videos and film videos for you guys, take care of all the plans. It's just been a lot of things. So I'm definitely going to be happy when all of that is done. I'm still happy that I've done it, that I have those certifications. I, you know, still train people privately for personal training, even though I don't do like group fitness training anymore like I used to. But I don't know, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot, and you know, I have my day job too, so it's kind of like doing all that before with 1 job was one thing, and then doing all that now with 2 jobs, because YouTube is pretty much, you know, a job as well. and then having to take care of Toby when these things go wrong. And obviously he is my priority when stuff like that happens, but it's just a lot because I also am not the type of person that, you know, I don't like to not finish things. So even though Toby takes priority, if I were to not finish those exams and everything because of that, they would really annoy me. And I mean, I would obviously probably reach out to my professor and be like, hey, is there any way I can get like a couple weeks extension? Here's what happened. But also I'm gonna feel like an idiot if I do that, because he's gonna be like, I gave you a whole year and you waited until like 2 months before. So you guys know what I mean, but you know, I'll get it done. I will get it done. It will be fine. Everything will be good. But at least the plants are doing pretty well through all of this, because like I said, I went 2 whole days without looking at who needed to be watered, really. That's how the Selaginella started looking, how it looked. And then I went almost, I think, 4 days without watering the plants out back, but they're doing okay, and we haven't had any rain. So, you know, they probably needed me to look at them sooner than this morning, but they've been watered now, so they're all good. And, you know, all in all, everybody's good. Selaginella is really the only one that isn't looking so hot, so that's pretty good considering. And you know, I think I just kind of overthink things sometimes as well. Like, I mean, other people go like a few days without looking at all their plants, I'm sure. Something just fell off the table over there. But anyways, so, you know, it's just me getting in my own head, but it stresses me out if I don't have time to just go around and at least like take a peek at everybody and be like, oh yeah, it's been a while since I've watered you, let me check you real quick, you know? And I realize that everybody can probably, for the most part, bounce back from 1 or 2 days of me not watering when they were ready to be watered, for the most part. But I don't know, it's just how my brain works. But we've got everybody watered here now, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting these back on the cart. Okay guys, so like I said, I hope this video isn't just all over the place. I am realizing right now just how tired I am. My brain is feeling super foggy right now. Like, I usually only have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. I kind of feel like I might need to make another cup, and I definitely don't have coffee this late in the morning because it's about 11:15 right now. But I've got to work on planning the next video for you guys that normally I would be recording today, but I honestly, I don't really feel like I am in the right headspace to try to do a just sit down in front of the Monstera video. And while we're on the topic of sitting down in front of the Monstera has gotten like way bigger over the summer, and I'm having kind of a hard time filming sitting in front of her now because I'm always like hitting her leaves. And so I'll show you guys in a second what I'm talking about, but I might have to try to figure out some other place in my house to film that's not my kitchen. It's not my favorite place to film, my kitchen. You know, I do it when we need to do something that involves making a mess, obviously, but it's just kind of darkish in there, especially with the dark cabinets, and I can't afford to redo those cabinets right now. So anyways, we'll take a look at her in a second, but I do need to at least finish planning out the video that I think I'm going to record for you guys. And I just came up with the idea for this video yesterday because I was not in the headspace to plan and research the original video I wanted to do for you guys. So this one, I had this idea. I don't even know how I had the idea anymore, you guys. Like, I can barely remember what happened yesterday other than talking to the emergency vet people, picking up Toby, my garage door breaking, you know. So anyways, I think it's kind of a fun video. So we're gonna do it. I started planning it out yesterday, but I need to finish planning it out today. So I'm gonna talk you through kind of my process for how I kind of plan videos and things here in a second. But let's go look at this Monstera so you can see what I'm talking about how it's getting a little bit more difficult to film there. Okay, so here's the zoomed out view so you guys can kind of see like how big she's gotten. And I will try and find a clip from a previous video to throw up here from back in the beginning days so you can see just kind of how big she's gotten. But you can see the leaves are pointing out everywhere. So here's what happens when I try to go and sit. So I'm usually sitting right about here, and you can see I am all up in her business and she is all up in my business. And in the past, what I would do is I would just scoot forward because she wasn't sticking out that far this way, and that way her leaves that were going that way would just be behind me. But now, like, this is in front of me. Like, I would have to come way up here, which I suppose I could do. How's that look, you guys? Could we do this? Could we film from this far forward with this stuff behind me? It's not bad, right? I don't think that's that bad. It's hard for me to tell on the tiny camera screen, but when I'm editing, I'll see maybe that will work. Because like I said, I really don't want to find another place. I could do it from the couch, but I don't know. The lighting's kind of awkward over there. It's just kind of a mess. So I don't know, but at least she's looking good. She's got a bunch of new leaves. There's one new leaf right here. There's another one over there. This one is relatively new as well. And I think I saw she has a few more new ones coming in down there. And some of these new ones, as you can see here, that these ones that came in before this weren't fenestrated, and this one's got its first fenestration. So she's definitely getting more fenestrated. I have been moving her, you guys. I should have mentioned this. Oh, I just realized I don't really have the mic in the right place for you guys to be able to hear me. Let me move that over a little bit. Oh, you guys, vlogs. You get to see all the real stuff in the vlogs, right? This thing is like wanting to rotate that way. So hopefully the sound is better now, but I should have mentioned that during the summer when the sun was tracking so far north, she wasn't getting as much light being this far back from the southern facing window as she does when the sun is shining directly for extended periods of days through these windows in my living room. So I have been moving her during the summer into my dining room in front of the windows in there for a good part of the morning so that she can get more light. And that's why she's continued to put out all of this new growth. If I had left her here like 24/7 during the entire summer, she wouldn't be growing this much and we would be running a risk of like root rot because she wouldn't be using, see, I just hit her, wouldn't be using up her water quick enough. But I don't have like anywhere to really, I don't have anywhere good to put her with as big as she is permanently during the summer, you know, because I do rotate some of my plants around for that reason because of the way the sun's tracking. But yeah, there's just not a really good place for her during the summer that's like a permanent place. So I was just like shifting her in and out of here throughout the day. Sometimes that's what we got to do. But I am looking into getting a grow light to hang over her to help out. It is just the one I want is pretty pricey, and obviously Toby is where all my money is going right now, and that is fine. I did, by the way, you guys, get him health insurance. I don't remember if I said that earlier, but after the last hospitalization stay, I got him health insurance. So good news is, fingers crossed, I should get 90% reimbursement on all of these bills that we've had this week, unless for some reason they come up with some reason to deny the claim. Like, my biggest concern is they're going to say because he had pancreatitis, even though you and I know it was related to the fact that his diabetes had gone in remission the last time and I didn't know. I'm worried that they're going to say since he had that 2 months ago that somehow that makes pancreatitis pre-existing and try not to like reimburse me for it. But I don't know, we'll see. Just wish me luck on that one. I'm still waiting to get the 18-month medical history from my vet that they require before I can actually submit any of the claims. But I've got to get to planning, and so let me show you kind of my process with that. And I think we're going to go in the bedroom and do it in there since that's where Toby's hanging out. I don't want to spend, all day away from him. Normally he hangs out on the couch with me when I'm doing my planning. That's usually where I do it, which is why my couch looks like this right now with all of my notebooks and everything, and it's a mess. But let me get all of that moved into the bedroom and move you into the bedroom, and we'll pick it back up in there. You guys, I just realized that what I said to you just now is exactly what I said before we went into the bedroom the last time and discovered the cockroach. So fingers crossed, no awkward discoveries when we move in there. You all right, buddy? Well, at least he's purring, you guys. I think we're feeling a little better. Like I said, I think we're just still trying to get adjusted back to being home. But he's loving hanging out next to Maria over here, who Maria is in here from the office right now because I recently had to repot her. And another little tip and trick for you guys for after you repot your plants that live in north-facing windows, especially if it's later in the year when the sun is moving back towards the south, I always move them to brighter locations for like a few days, maybe up to a week after I repot them to help encourage that root growth to start back up again before I take them back and put them back into that north-facing window. I just find it really helps them to get over the transplant process like a little bit quicker. But I got my notebooks. So I have 2 notebooks. I actually have 3 plant notebooks because I think in the last video I told you guys that I track, or maybe it wasn't the last video, I don't know. One video recently I told you guys that I track like the families and orders and genuses of the plants in this notebook. And then I have this fun notebook right here, which is where I write down all of my video topic ideas as they come to me. So I keep all of those in here. And then this notebook, which I bought in Hawaii back in January. This is my first YouTube notebook. This is where I actually kind of like plan out the video based on the topic from the other notebook. And it just depends on the video, you guys, as to like what my process is. Sometimes if it's like, you know, the video I did on things that annoy me about the plant world, I mean, I can talk about that stuff without having to make notes on it. So I really just came up with the things I wanted to talk about, made bullet points, kind of planned out my intro and what I was going to say. And I should probably take this back a little bit further for you guys. So before I even get to that point, when I start here and I decide, okay, out of all these ideas, this is the next one I'm going to do. I get on my computer and I start doing keyword research to see what words for that topic are trending, are, you know, have low competition, because really I want to include keywords that are being searched at high volume, but that don't have a lot of competition. So I start out there and then I make sure that I use those keywords in my actual like written description and title on the YouTube channel. And I also try to make sure that I say those keywords a lot in the video, because YouTube knows what you're saying in your videos because they're translating the video into closed captions. So they know what I'm saying. And the more that all those things tie together, the better chance I have of my video getting put in front of more people and being put in front of more people who actually are going to want to watch that topic. So that's kind of like the whole process to get to the point of planning out the actual video. And if it is, once again, something like, you know, things that annoy me in the plant world, I just put my bulleted list of this is the order we're going to go in. I put my intro, make sure I include keywords in that. I decide what my outro is going to be. I decide if there's a specific like call to action that I'm going to put in there. Like if there's something that I'm curious what you guys think, I'll make a note, like ask them to comment and let me know what they think at this point in the video. That's kind of like how that kind of thing goes. Now, where things get more complicated, for example, when I did the variegation video, I think that thing took up like 8 pages in this notebook because there was just so much research that I had to do to make sure that what I was telling you was accurate, you know, and making sure that I was, you know, not also like in that video, I was really trying not to be overly scientific because I didn't want it to be hard to follow or you to just like zone out because you're like, what is she saying? I don't understand these words that are coming out of her mouth. So that one took a lot more time. And I mean, I'm not even going to show you my chicken scratch on that one because, man, I don't know how much coffee I had that morning. Maybe that was a 2-cup day because this handwriting's looking pretty like shaky. But anyways, that one took up a lot. And so on those ones, I don't do like a full script. I still just bullet it out. Like here's this type of variegation and then like some key like notes on the things I need to say about that. And then I just know from what I read in my research, those things are to elaborate on them, if that makes sense. So you don't really script anything for the most part, unless there's like an outro. The outro is where I like to tie in other videos. So for example, in that video, I did tie in the other variegation videos at the end. I made sure to kind of script that out so that I could say, you know, if you want to learn more about this, you can check out this video next right here, that kind of thing. But that's about as scripted as they get. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the process. And once I finish recording a video, I typically, for my sit down videos, I record the whole video just sitting down. And then I go back if there's any B-roll that needs to be put in, I'd record that later. Like actually during editing, I do it because I think it's easier for me when I'm seeing it in editing and I'm making the changes to say, okay, this is how I want to film this B-roll and have it fit cohesively in here, if that makes sense. And so yeah, editing probably takes the longest. Well, it definitely takes the longest. Editing takes the longest. Planning takes the second longest. Filming takes the least amount of time on most days. But there are days, you guys, where I feel like I can't get words out of my mouth. And I will be editing, and I had somebody here one time when I was editing a video, and they were like, oh my God, how many times are you going to restart that section of the video? And we counted, it was like 11 times that I restarted it. Most of it was just because I kept getting tongue-tied. Like I kept trying to say a certain word. I don't even remember what it was now. And it just kept coming out like in reverse order or sounding like another word. And it was just like, I get so frustrated too. I have to stop and be like, Drea, you can talk. You can talk today. You know how to say words. Words can come out of your mouth in the right form and in the right way, and you can do this. And then I would start up again and I would screw it up again. So some days it goes like that, and that always makes editing take way longer. And obviously the longer a video is, the more B-roll it has, the longer it takes. Vlogs, for example, really take a long time to edit. But like I said before in one of my videos, I actually kind of like the whole vlog process for the most part. Now this is only my second vlog. You guys seem to appreciate the video style and thing I did on the first one. So be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think about this one. See how I slipped that call to action in there? But anyways, And today, it may not be as good because like I said, I'm just a little all over the place and tired, but I'm going to get back to planning this video. I'm not going to tell you what it's about yet because, I want it to kind of be a surprise, but Toby and I are going to hang out here. I just got to research the sizes on some of the plants that I'm going to be featuring in this video and kind of plan out my intro and my outro, and then it will be ready to go, and I will probably record it either tomorrow or on Tuesday. Fingers crossed, assuming everything is still going okay with this little fluffy man over here. Alright you guys, I've got this video planned out and good to go for filming it, hopefully tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Tuesday, and I am just now realizing that I am going to need to get a new notebook soon because I have hardly any space left in this one. That is crazy. That is how many videos I have done since January, but that's kind of fun. I'm going to try and find a prettier planty looking notebook versus just one of these college composition notebook things for my next notebook, but yeah, I got some exciting things coming up for you guys. I am really excited about the video that I am planning on filming for you for like around Halloween. And once again, you guys, I realize I am not sitting where I need to be for this mic. So let me scoot back real quick. I am just a hot mess today, you guys. I'm telling you. So anyways, I'm really excited about this video idea I had, and I had it months and months and months ago for this video to do for you guys around Halloween. I really hope you guys are gonna like it. I think it's just a super fun video. But then again, I thought my Plants for Autumn Colors video was really fun and I was really excited about that, and that video has not done well at all. So I don't know, maybe as we get closer to fall, YouTube will figure out who to serve it up to, people maybe will be looking more for that kind of thing. I might have just released it a little bit too early and it'll just take off a little bit later. And that happens sometimes, you guys. Some of my videos, like my first vlog, did horrible for the first few weeks, and then out of nowhere it took off, and it's just been getting more and more views every single day. So I think maybe because I hadn't done a vlog before, the algorithm on YouTube wasn't sure what I was doing. It was probably like, wait a minute, this is different than what you normally do over here. We don't know who to serve this video to. And so it probably just took it a while to find the right audience, and that's why it took off later. And sometimes that happens. So I try not to get like too upset or bummed out if a video doesn't do well right away, because typically, it might take off again later. Now, not all videos do that. There are videos I have done that I've still just haven't been getting any more views, kind of a thing. But it just happens. And sometimes I do videos and I know they're not going to do that great, but I know they're videos that you guys, my subscribers, want to see. And so I'm still going to do them. I'm not going to not do a video that I think you guys want to see and would appreciate just because it's not going to help grow the channel or get me more subscribers. That's just silly. That's not how I operate, And yeah, this is like, I want all my videos to do well because that helps bring in more revenue from the videos now that I have been monetized. It helps the channel grow more quickly. But I'm not going to just not give you something because this video isn't going to do as well, right? So always just know that. And if there are any video ideas that you want to see that I haven't done, please let me know. Like, comment in any video. I don't care, this video, any other video, just put down in the comments if there's something you want to see. Go to my Instagram page at Aloha Plant Life or my Facebook page, send me a message, let me know what it is that you would like me to talk about. I always appreciate, your guys' input. I want to make sure that I'm answering topics and questions and presenting things that you want to know about. So always just let me know. But right now, what I'm going to do is I want to spend some quality time with Toby here, make sure he's doing okay, see if I can't get him to eat some more. And then I'm going to go ahead and start editing this vlog for you guys. And that is probably going to take up most of the rest of my day. I am also going to have to order some food for delivery because, like I said, my car is trapped in my garage. And of course, I needed to go grocery shopping today too. So that's what I've got going on for the rest of the day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well. Thank you for joining me, and if you have enjoyed this vlog, please be sure to hit that like and or subscribe button down below, and Toby and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Aloha!